Well, federal workers are in limbo as agencies give contradictory guidance on Elon Musk's ultimatum to prove their work or be fired.
And for those already fired, New York State is offering a hand up. Jessica Moore has been speaking with fired federal employees and joins us now with more on where things stand right now. Jess.
Well, Christine and Chris, I spoke with a Long Island woman who has worked for the Social Security Administration for 2 decades. She describes the last few weeks as mental torture, conflicting messages, no job security, and life-changing policy guidance being posted on social media. She didn't feel comfortable sharing her story on camera, saying she's afraid for her job. But today, some people who have already been fired rallied together to figure out what's next as the White House struggles to provide clarity. From the White House to the State House, everyone seems to have a message for federal workers on the heels of Elon Musk's email asking for 5 things they accomplished last week or they'd be fired.
This is to ensure that federal workers are not ripping off American taxpayers, that they are showing up to the office, and that they are doing their job.
The federal government might say you're fired, but here in New York, we say you're hired.
Governor Hochul encouraging any of the thousands of already fired federal employees to come work for New York State. Many were terminated before Musk's email even went out because they were considered unnecessary.
We love federal workers. Whatever your skills, we value public service.
The White House saying Tuesday each agency head is ultimately responsible for hirings and firings, leading to conflicting emails like these sent to a Social Security Administration employee, first directing her to respond to Musk's email and then another email telling her not to.
The president, again, has entrusted his cabinet secretaries to oversee their workforce. That's why he nominated them to be cabinet secretaries. And so federal workers can be directed to their agency leadership.
As dozens of fired federal workers descended on the Capitol pleading their case to lawmakers, others gathered on a Zoom led by Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna.
They're speaking not just for themselves, they're speaking for thousands and thousands of federal workers who have been unfairly and unjustly fired.
I had no idea that without due process that I could just be terminated out of the blue.
How do we pay the mortgage, and how can I take my kids to the emergency room if something happens?
Several begging the man they voted for to give them their jobs back.
I would just ask President Trump and anybody else that might be in charge to reconsider your decision. I don't think it was effective in anything you stated as your goal.
And President Trump, as you know, has so far applauded Musk's efforts to whittle down the federal workforce, even encouraging him to be more aggressive. The White House today also confirmed Elon Musk will attend President Trump's first official cabinet meeting tomorrow, even though he's definitely not a cabinet member, rather a special government employee. Chris and Christine?
Jessica, thank you. A lot to work out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jessica. Virginia's governor also trying to recruit federal workers who've been fired. The state launched a website called VirginiaHasJobs.com. It offers free job support and resume review plus links to openings. Virginia's governor said it's intended to be a resource for employees who were part of the cuts, but he has drawn some criticism for still expressing support for those DOGE cuts.
And consumer confidence has dropped 7%. That's the biggest decrease in 3.5 years. The new data shows shoppers are growing more concerned about tariffs and inflation. This measurement important because consumers typically make financial decisions based on how they feel about the economy. There was mixed reaction on Wall Street. The Dow was up 159 points. The broader markets fell, with the S&P losing 28 and the Nasdaq dropping 260 points. Of course, we'll continue to follow the policy changes from President Trump's first 100 days in office and beyond. You can find continuing coverage on our website, cbsnewyork.com.